Welcome to Roll for Crit. I'm Jonathan Estes,
And I'm Will Keeler.
and we've got a hodgepodge of news for you today. A real cornucopia, an oleo.
I don't know if you're just trying to make jokes or you just want to say a lot of weird words.
Well, what I'm saying is there's no particular theme for this episode, so I'm trying to tell you there's a general assortment of different news items.
So you need to open up your thesaurus and use every single word that can possibly before we can actually get to it?
Yes.
All right then.
I'll drag it out as long as I can. One thing, remember the game Zombie 15? That's where we're going to start.
Yes, I do remember.
We did a playback of it.
We did.
It's pretty cool. Well, they put up a preview of a new expansion they're coming out with.
16?
That's a good idea. But no, it's actually a solo variant for the game in which you play as one of the original heroes from the game, only this time you're only one of them.
Right.
And each one has their own kind of campaign, and you find out their backstory. And what's kind of cool is there's slightly different rules. You know, you don't need to tell the next person that it's their turn because there's only you. So
It's your turn. Thank you.
So you basically just keep, unless you're controlling multiple people, then they actually tell you that you should say it out loud so you remember. Well, it actually is important because the soundtrack growls, so you need to know which person it affects. But I kind of feel like it might be nice for a, I don't know about less stressful, but less confusing because you don't have to worry about whose turn it is because you can you just keep moving until you're done. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. It's cool that they're continuing to support that, and we should get back to that game. We should finish our multiplayer campaign.
Right, we should get back to every game.
I know. And we say that about every single thing we ever discuss. But I think that comes out in October, so just in time for Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll have to set up a solo mode.
Maybe, we'll see.
Just in time. We won't have time. There's even more new games announced. There's one called Terra, coming from Bezier Games. That's what it looks like. It's got the Earth on it.
That sounds good. All right. Earth. Great start.
It's basically like Wits and Wagers. It's a party game, but it's the same like Wits and Wagers where you don't need to know the answers. You just have to, whoever is the closest to the right answer. Only from what I gathered, this one is more environmentally themed.
Okay, now, is it still numbers closest, or is it where is the pyramids located, and whoever can guess closest?
That's a good question. Actually, I don't know the official rules, but there is a board in this game, and there is a globe sort of on it. So I think there is stuff like that. It's not strictly. It is a lot of dates and stuff like that. But yeah,
I feel like it can be really annoying though. It's all right, everyone, look up what this is. Take out Google Maps. Let's see how far it is.
Yeah, that would be a good game. You just look at. There are games with Google Maps, aren't there, online you can play? Probably.
Probably, but
I just
not
made it
that I
up.
can think of the top of my head.
Well, that game has been pretty apparently well received over in Europe.
Europe.
And
Europa, the moon.
So this is from, it's a good question, designer Friedemann Fries. I don't know how to say his name. But the reason I'm mentioning the designer, he also did that solo game Friday, which we now sell. It's one of the more popular solo games. He has another game that was announced that I seem to remember we talked about in the show, or I at least read about it. It was from a long time ago. That Stronghold Games announced they'll be making the English version of it. It's called 504, and it's gotten lots of buzz because it sounds insane. Basically, it's called 504 because there are 504 potential games you can play in this box. There are, I believe the number is 9. We'll have to check my math on that. 9 different rule sets or mechanics, sort of. So there's one is worker placement, one is racing, one is civilization building, stuff like that. And each time you play, you pick 3 of them, any 3 you want, and they mash together, and you look up what it is in the rules, and it's a different game made up of those 3 mechanics. And the theme is that it's a bunch of scientists that have created different multiple worlds, and that's why each world is a different environment.
In my head, what I picture that is sort of almost Cones of Dunshire or anything. You don't really know. It's all right, I'm the captain now, and now I do
Yeah, it's almost like you're guaranteed pretty much every time you play to have to learn the rules. There's no. I don't know how it's gonna work.
Well, I don't know because it could end up as we've stated, with deck building games. It's sort of all right, I read the rules to 1. I got the rest.
Yeah. Once you've played each module, you kind of know the gist of them all. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it does sound really crazy. And I wonder, like, if there's one you really like, people will just say, "Oh, this is the best one. We keep playing this one." I mean, for 504 combinations, are like 300 of them basically the same thing?
No, even more. It could be like there's technically 504.
Right.
500 of them don't work.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Well, at least he's a designer with a good track record, and Stronghold Games, publisher with a good track record.
And also, Jonathan, if you felt bad enough about not playing all the games in your library, you now have 500 more.
I know. That's talk about value. 504 games in one box. So that's 504. That's like the craziest thing I think from today.
You buy that, you're done.
Right. That's the only game you need in your collection. Also, remember the game?
That you just lost?
That too. The game, the one nominated for the Spiel des Jahres.
Oh, right. The one that we were wondering if they were going to...
I think it has another, it's like Spiel dash something
Right.
in German. That's getting a U.S. release.
When?
Sometime this year, I think. It's going to be IDW and Pandasaurus.
Ah, Machikoro and many others, but that's a big one.
So I guess they know what they're doing with the the well-received.
They
games.
really want to Spiel des Jahres.
Yeah, so it's confirmed we're going to get to play that.
Will it be at Gen Con?
I don't think. Well, I assume it's going to be there in some shape or
non-English
form.
form,
I
yeah.
don't think this version. I don't think they're
Okay.
going to have that ready. Probably not to like Spiel or something.
But speaking of Gen Con, I recently read after the Tasty Minstrel, big
Yes.
fan of their games.
Yes.
Apparently,
Do you get their newsletter?
I do.
Me too.
They're one of their designers, big fan of Star Realms, and was playing it and was like, I'd like it better with this. And with this, apparently started doing all these tweaks. Like he took one group away because he wanted to make it easier for you to sort of stack one of the groups. Which I think is something we've seen is definitely can be a problem sometimes. Like changing the cost of certain cards and pretty much revamp the entire system and actually decided he wanted to make it that game. So he talked with the makers of Star Realms and they came to an agreement. So he's actually releasing a new Cthulhu version of the game.
That's what
called Cthulhu Realms. I showed you the picture earlier.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the cat Cthulhu thing.
Oh, that's what that was?
Yeah.
We'll put that up. Oh, yeah,
and that is actually going to be at Gen Con.
Oh, okay. It's for sale?
Yeah.
Cool,
So that's going to be really cool. I'm really excited about that.
That's a great story.
I think that's a hilarious idea. We both really have enjoyed Star Realms, I would say. And so I'm really curious to see what he changes to make, he thinks, in a way to improve the game.
Yeah.
And plus Cthulhu.
Well, it's how you improve sales. You put Cthulhu on the cover.
And plus, the picture I showed you was actually like a cat Cthulhu, so it looks like it could be not
it's a little
just like
goofier.
Arkham. It could be much more of a goofier thing.
So I
which
guess
think
the art is totally different because it's not going to be Star Realms-y.
No, it was Star Realms. It's a completely different company.
Right,
so,
right.
So that's something to look forward to, especially if you're a fan of the Star Realms or Cthulhu. And once again, Tasty Minstrels has had a good track as well, so that also means it's probably the same pricing.
Right.
So I'm guessing that it's another really great game. Once again, great value.
We're all about value here at Roll for Crit. I wish there's more publishers and developers should be like, let's change this game and we'll just make a new version and ask them to help.
In particular, especially if there's like copyright issues. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of times we've played a game like, this would be great under like insert copyright name.
Right. Yeah. That's a smart idea. They could have been, sneaky about it and like changed it enough that it wasn't the same game.
No, apparently they talked
I
right
like
to
that
them.
they were upfront about it. Yeah, that's cool. They're good. For some reason, I think they're in New Jersey. I think we've talked about that before. We need to get them on the show. We're not going to get them on the show.
Do you really want to bring them here?
Nobody wants to come down here with us. But you remember, there's a couple games got their rule books posted this week early. Tides of Time, the micro game from Portal.
Oh, that was that really cool one, like civilization keeps rising and falling.
Yeah, and the WWE game from Gale Force 9.
Right, and that's been a big...
I didn't really look at them, but I just thought that's kind of a cool trend I've been noticing where people are posting the rule books early. That's kind of a neat...
Well, I think
don't
to me, it's sort of the demoing of
Right.
the game, but without actually making it so you can play it and say, I don't really like it.
Right. Well, it definitely shows some amount of confidence.
Right. But I mean, it's like, how there's certain things that you say, like, it sounds good, it works in
Right.
theory, but in practice doesn't. This is a perfect way to take advantage of that.
Yeah. That's That's definitely true. And it's a lot easier than putting up a print and play or something like that.
You're not actually giving away your game.
Yeah, but it's true. Cause
I guess you technically are. People could then be like, okay, I'll cut out cards to represent.
Yeah, you got to try pretty hard, though.
Right. But I mean, like, for example, artwork usually is a big thing with games. The WWE, if I'm wrong, actually comes with miniatures.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, half the reason you're buying it is for, like, to make the little miniature stick.
Right, yeah.
So, like, in certain ways, you could have a print and play, people still want your game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's definitely a little almost riskier for Tides of Time because the micro game is just cards.
Yeah.
Again, but I think at a certain point you have you respect your fan base enough that they're gonna buy your game.
Plus, I mean, how many times have you played with a print and play and it's just a piece of paper and you're like, you just wish you had that cardboard stock.
It's not the same.
I mean, maybe you have a printer to print nice cardboard stock. That sounds
Maybe.
pricey, though.
So
it sounds a bit more expensive than actually buying the game.
Right. It's definitely easier just to buy the game. There was one other, I'm pretty sure, thing that I wanted to talk about. I thought was bizarre. There is it's a UK publication called The Telegraph. Mm-hmm. And there were two articles that they posted. I'm pretty sure on the same day. I could be wrong. Definitely in the same week.
Did they post out Pokemon's the new poker?
It's almost. Well, and I posted them both on the news this week. The first one was the 5 best board games. They had their list of the 5 best.
Oh
board
boy.
games. Well, that's not. It was standard. The content is not what I take issue with. It was like, okay, that's fine. Then they had another article. Card games and board games are dying out, and I quote, and it's no great loss. That was the headline of their article.
I feel like just last week I've been reading how they've been on the rise.
Yeah, and when they just said, here's the best board games, too bad they're dying out. This was obviously an article that no one watching our show will agree with. Yeah, that definitely felt like a clickbait.
Did you actually read them?
Yeah, I did read the
dying out one.
The dying out one. It's very vague. Like, oh well, video game sales are so big, and adults remember playing board games, but kids don't anymore because they have video games. And basically didn't mention. It only mentioned Monopoly and Scrabble, and didn't even touch on not even Catan
all right.
or anything.
Now, before I go into that one, I think what we all want to know. What were their top 5 games?
Well, now I guess we're going to have to find out. Clearly, they know. I think they were relatively newer. Maybe it was all different versions of Monopoly. All right, ready? Chess.
Okay.
Scrabble.
Okay.
Monopoly.
Okay.
Backgammon.
Okay.
And, just a reminder, British publication, Cluedo.
That's their Clue.
That's
right?
what they call it, Clue. Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
And in the other article, I remember distinctly they point out Cluedo and I think Monopoly as being examples of games that were boring to play. Of course, it's 2 different authors, but you'd think they would kind of have some synergy going on there.
So this is an interesting thing I think that to bring up. First off, I understand in some ways where they come from because, as I've said before on the show, when I've gone to the post office or do other things, and when I mentioned that I sell board games, people are like, "Oh, you sell Monopoly and Scrabble?"
Right.
It's like in a lot of people's minds that's what board games are. However, that said, we know that there are more than that. But I do agree, probably for a lot of people, Monopoly, no one wants to play Monopoly or Clue anymore as much.
Right.
But I feel there's been a huge surge on the non-Hasbro board games. There's so many people I'm like, you guys play Catan? Or you guys do this? I see that on my Facebook page all the time.
Yeah.
And
you're preaching to the choir for sure.
Which is, I think, an interesting thing. They're right and wrong. And Ivan's trying to tell us something.
We'll get to it.
Okay, but video game sales have been up, but they've also been having a lot of issues, especially AAA games, because they're more expensive to make, and people expect more for also less. But I feel like board games have been on the rise in terms of the non-traditional.
I mean, obviously, yeah, absolutely. We've talked about this before, and we know firsthand they're definitely on the rise.
So it's not that I think they're fully wrong. I just think they didn't do their research.
Yes, and when you're when you're an actual journalist, that's pretty bad.
I actually expect that now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Telegraph might be like the Weekly World News or something in the UK.
Remember, sort of side note, I forget how long ago it was a small publication around us in New Jersey. I remember you brought up, I'm like, oh yeah, about Captain America being a communist or something.
Oh, it was like a really local paper.
It was like really. That's what I think.
Yeah, it might be one of those, like just the crazies. They got a website. I'm sure they're legit. Anyway, yeah, I just thought that was sad and hilarious, and as long as they keep printing these dumb articles, we'll keep talking about them on our dumb show. That was really all our news. Why don't we get into a Kickstarter, a Pickstarter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you start? Because I don't know what you're going to tell me. I feel like I had a couple that I liked. Maybe there might be some
The thing is,
crossover.
I know for me, it was like, I think Tuesday or so I went on, and I didn't go back on until today, and then I'm like, oh crap, there's a lot.
Yeah. Including.
Well, one of the recent ones, at least that caught my eye, was I think it was Hocus Pocus. I could be mixing it up here.
It's called Hocus.
Hocus, thank
and
you.
That was one of mine as well.
To me, the whole basic idea is they mix magic and poker, and sort of bringing poker. First of all,
by magic you mean
like spells
actual
and
magic,
stuff, not Magic
not
the Gathering.
the card game. Yeah.
Yes. To me, one of the reasons why I'm excited about this, I just saw, is one, their logo is a corgi. And I think there needs to be more corgis in board games. There's a serious shortage.
We're starting a charity for that. It's a movement.
Second of all, we recently played, actually I think it's right there.
Scribes Arena.
Scribes Arena.
Which we've talked about.
Right. It's pretty much Magic plus Hangman, and we both have enjoyed it a lot. I think it was a great mix. It did a good job. So I think the idea of bringing poker to this, I think could really do a good job.
Taking traditional games and putting a new school twist on them.
And also, we should mention poker itself is a good game.
Yeah,
so it's not like
yeah.
Okay, let's see if they can take Monopoly or something.
Yeah, poker is actually really fun. I kind of wish we played that more.
We should.
Yeah, but no, I thought this was cool. Also, it comes from Hyperbole Games. I think it's their first.
It is their first game, and hence the corgi logo.
And I recognize them because they also have a blog. They post articles and stuff that we've posted on our site before. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty cool.
Right.
And so I'm excited to, I hope they make it.
Right. Oh, you have a bunch more. I mean, I have a lot in my head, but remembering all the names because, like I said, they all came out just now.
Other Kickstarters to talk about? Well, there was only one other one I really wanted to talk about. What was it called? It's called something Murder in Hong Kong.
Oh yes,
you see that
Mystery
one?
in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Deception.
Deception. Yeah.
Murder in Hong Kong.
No.
Yes. So, did you read about it at all?
I saw it, but I didn't read it because I was just so overwhelmed with all these Kickstarters. I'm like, I forgot to check. Oh wow, there's a lot.
It's published by Gray Fox Games, the guys who did Run, Fight, or Die.
And they, I believe, they also do a lot of the Robert Burke games.
Right.
As well.
They did. They will be doing Operation Faust.
Right.
So basically, it's a resistance style game, or like other, werewolf. But with kind of a twist that to me sounds like Mysterium, or in Tom Vassell compared it to Concept in his review. Basically, everyone's an investigator. One of them is secretly the killer, and then
sounds like noir.
Sort of. There's a whole bunch of things you can compare it to.
A lot of these detective games, but which we like.
Yeah, and then one other person is the forensic researcher or scientist, and they
openly or secretly.
That one is open.
Okay.
So the researcher knows who the killer is, and there's a bunch of things there's on the table representing potential murder weapons and I think it's locations. Or no, it's a piece of evidence they left behind. And they know what the two are, and they have a bunch of boards with different clues on them, and the researcher isn't allowed to talk, but they put clues down to try and give them hints, kind of like Mysterium, the ghost. And then each investigator gets a turn to say what they think. They could be lying because one of them's the killer. And then the researcher gets to put down a different clue, and ultimately the game ends and you figure out who the killer is. But yeah, it's obviously this is
how does the killer win?
The kind of thing. I think you go a certain number of rounds without guessing, or if you guess the wrong thing, something like that. So yeah, it sounds really cool. That's the kind of thing that I like a lot. I don't know why. I'm not sure why it takes.
I know why you like it.
Yeah.
You've liked Mysterium.
Oh, well, I know why I like it, yeah.
But it also has a traitor mechanic.
Right. It's all, the deduction hidden traitor is my favorite thing.
I just want you to imagine being the researcher and just going, because if you look at someone too, a lot of people are going to, like...
It's also kind of like the Merlin in the Resistance, where you can't be, sort of.
No, the difference is Merlin can get screwed.
Yeah, it's sort of the opposite of Merlin.
As far as I know, unless you're wrong, the murderer can't ruin the researcher because the researcher's open information.
Right, you know who the researcher is, yeah. Right, you're right. But anyway.
So I feel like it's definitely have to be a challenge to be the researcher. I mean, I love the idea of the game. I want to play it.
Yeah, it's very...
Like, I almost want a mask. We need a mask for that game.
Yeah. We need to start playing games with masks, so just be, like, eyes wide shut. People
Eyes
walk
wide
in and get creeped out. Did you have any others that you remember? Because I have one more that I actually got that I want to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you do that? Because the problem is...
I know.
So I can quickly look at the
Sure,
name.
sure. Go.
Like, what was this Italian game? But go on with yours.
Well, I actually got
know.
this in the mail. Hostage Negotiator. This was a Kickstarter from a while ago. We probably talked about it on the show.
We did, actually. I know, because we said we were both really cool.
See, everything comes full circle.
Well, it's a Kickstarter. It should come full circle. I hope. I mean, it's like we talk about it and we never get it.
But this, we've been talking a lot of teams lately about solo games. This is a solo-only game, and I did play one run through of it, and it's really cool. The idea is you're a hostage negotiator. You're trying to rescue these hostages from a terrorist, and there's a bunch of different characters that you can play against, and most of it is dice rolls and getting successes on the dice to pass tests, sort of. But it's done in a really the theme is really cool. It is a lot of it can be luck based, and I've seen some people weary about that. You can definitely get some bad rolls.
Well, I think that actually makes sense though. Think about it. If you're negotiating, it could just be like the guy's like, no, like.
Right. It's that. Yeah, I agree.
I know a lot of people really hate luck, but I think luck is usually a good thing to throw in.
Also because it's a very short game, and as we've pointed out, I think solo games are usually better slanted in the difficult direction. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm pretty sure it's going to be widely available. If not now, then soon. So if you want to find a good solo game and you like the theme, I recommend that.
I realized, I wonder when they first made it, they tried to make it 2-player style. But they realized the person who's the, not the negotiator, the terrorist is just like, I blow it up, boom. Like, right. Just like, we got to make this solo.
It is fun to just watch your hostages die. Like, I lost another one. Oh, well.
Well, I forgot, this is one I had trouble finding earlier, if you recall. Because I actually backed this one.
Right.
It's called Solari, and it's actually it's an LCG.
Okay.
That looks of it, which I looked, and the artwork looks really cool. And sort of the idea is it's like sort of futuristic, yet battle style, and a pack. It was I think $20, so nice price. But you can also get playmats for the artwork, that's exclusive, and that's usually really nice if you really like the artwork. So that was cool. But the other one was actually from they contacted us earlier, if you recall. I'm not gonna butcher the name like.
I'm not gonna butcher the name.
Oh, I was gonna add an accent, but
I saw that.
Yeah,
the cover was terrifying. Bomarzo, probably.
Well, that's actually based on an actual place in Italy.
Right,
the maze, which is really cool. And the company, like, that's how I actually first learned about it. But at the time, I always thought it wasn't on Kickstarter. It was on another crowdfunding site. For I think an Italian one.
Oh, I see.
This is actually the English version.
Okay, yeah.
And it seems really cool because first of all, I like anything that connects actually to the real world, because especially things like this, because we don't know about it. I think that's always a positive thing.
We love to learn.
Well, yeah, actually, and I know we can bring up this discussion whether all this is true. I'm sure there are plenty of things. I know that's what a lot of people have been dissing about Jurassic World. This is more a bigger thing in movies, but board games have it too. Especially, I'm sure, war games. But like the idea that these bring up these kind of situations that we maybe never heard of, and even if you never heard of it, maybe you take the extra step to research it, and then as long as that one person does it, I think that's a win. But in itself,
like Rainbow episode right now.
In itself, like you said, it looks terrifying. The actual artwork, like, look, here's a picture. We'll put it up of the actual.
It's cray.
Yeah, and that looks pretty cool as well. But once again, I just saw it, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. Just mention it. I think we got enough. We got it. We ran the thing. we kicked the start. We started.
There's amazing stuff on Kickstarter that all came up in a second. Hopefully, we'll take a look more and we'll tell you more about it.
Get to show you more about it. The only other thing, I don't know if you had anything else in mind. I kind of wanted to talk about our end of the world session from this week.
I would like to as well. I want to tell.
Explain what happened.
Well, first of all, let's explain. We're playing the RPG End of the World Zombie Edition. I've decided to take it upon myself to be the game master, mostly because I wanted Jonathan, because he's usually a game master, and I feel it's a little unfair. As great as he is,
by usually he means the one other.
Well,
game
no,
you
even like with your other friends, you're the game master.
Oh, that's true. We haven't started that yet.
And I gotta say, you're a great one.
Jeez, quit flattering me.
Well, no, because you can do all the voices and stuff too in addition.
But
it's definitely. First of all, I'm gonna say it's a huge task because I don't know D&D one. You have specifically you're told life totals. You're told
yours is a little more open-ended.
No, extremely. Like the enemy's life totals, they don't really tell me.
Yeah.
They tell me their stats. But in this one, we actually split up into 2 groups.
Right.
Jonathan was Team Quick Check as they were heading to Quick Check.
Yeah. Basically, we got to a base and we're each heading out to get supplies. So it was me and our friends Neil and Ben were the team, and we, doing this online, went out to get food from Quick Check.
Now, obviously, this is the start of the zombie apocalypse, so it's not really chaos with zombies. I won't tell you which scenario because it'll spoil it for you guys.
Right. I don't know yet.
There's one of 5 different ways the zombies can occur. I've been trying to drop hints for them.
I was gonna say because I also don't know. The other team went on their own mission without us.
Right. They're gonna find out later today after this.
Right. So neither of us know what would happen. You might know what's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm gonna try to do something, but as I've learned, which I should have realized was gonna happen, is I'm gonna be like, okay, I do this. Oh, they made a left turn.
Yeah, this one was definitely a little more focused. I will say that this was my favorite session so far. I liked having less people to fight, to talk over.
No, that was good. What I tried to do in this session, which I'll explain what happened, is make less about the zombies and more about dealing with other things. In this case, they went Quick Check, and obviously the place is just the thousands of people trying to get stuff. Money is still considered currency. So
right.
You guys first tried to fight over a jug of water by using your sexy skill, and it didn't work out so well. But as you're in line,
use your imaginations.
The place got robbed.
Yes, by a group of 3 thugs with guns.
Yes. And they shot the one cop in there.
They shot a cop.
Which, how nice he was near you, and he had a gun.
Yeah, so he got his gun.
And I didn't realize until later, actually earlier today, I was like, I didn't think about safety. I realized his safety probably would have been on, so Neil would have probably pulled the trigger and nothing would have happened.
I said that, yeah. Well, we can assume maybe the cop was a bad cop.
I'm going to assume he was worried and stuff. But you should worry about it in future games.
Right.
And you guys did relatively well on dealing with them.
We did pretty damn well.
And then you got attacked by the zombie cop.
We made out like bandits. Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Which was annoying because everyone left, of course, leaving most of the stuff they were going to buy. So I had to come up with a list of what you guys actually got away with.
Well, we got a lot of good stuff. We got lots of food. We got SpaghettiOs. We got water.
Yeah, no, you did really well.
We got a cop car. We took that cop's car.
And his outfit. You stripped him of his outfit.
Well, I figure we could pretend to be police and maybe intimidate some people.
But what I realized, which is a plus in some ways, but also a minus, at least in difficulty. Like I really gave you a lot of stuff.
What do you mean?
Like you guys did really well in this Quick Check thing. It was pretty. I realize now I'm like, okay, pretty much I'm going to now make it hard as hell.
You also got to remember, we got a lot of stuff, but there's 6 of us plus that we have to divvy this all up with. So it's not like we're set for life or anything.
Right.
There's still.
Well, actually, there's more. There's the not armed citizen. This is like, remember, this is more like Dead of Winter. You have the citizens who are going to stay at home.
Right.
You have to worry about them.
But yeah, that's true. But anyway, yeah, it was. I really liked it, and I got to intimidate some people with a gun using my debate skills.
One of my big reasons, which that's what I liked about it, is I want to try to, at least I need to think of. I'm a new game master, so I'm sure all of you are much better at this. Well, because one guy I read a small thing. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but what he did with the guy, because I read like true stories of a game master. This is a guy who actually gets paid to be dungeon masters for people. But one of the things he does is actually a puzzle with different key sounds, and they have to arrange an order or something. And I want to try to throw that kind of stuff at you.
That's harder to do in a real world environment.
But in terms of the idea of logic stuff, puzzles. I want to throw more puzzles at you, logic things.
I'm with you, yeah.
And that's my goal. I got to come up with ways to really make it so it's not literally just strength, vitality, or vitality, dexterity, dexterity.
Yeah, I want to do the
early on, that's what's going to be especially with the zombies. And that's why I'm also going to I'm going to warn you in advance, I'm going to probably throw in a sense that it's not just the one, all of you have only fought one zombie at a time.
Every time a zombie comes up, I kind of just hang back and let other people deal with it.
Yeah. Well, no, this time you fought.
That's true. This time I did.
It was really funny because you were all next to it.
Yeah, we forgot about it.
And let's not forget, though, you got attacked. It got a hit on you.
Oh, that's true,
so
yeah.
I did
take some damage, yeah.
You did. Zombie damage.
We did not get out unscathed.
You don't know whether you're infected or not.
Oh, that's true. He didn't bite me.
He didn't bite you.
We're assuming this is normal zombie rules so far.
I'm going to tell you, each scenario are completely different in terms of how infections spread.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And Mark, on the other team, has got one too. So there's two people who've been.
All right, at least I'll have a buddy.
Right. But I think another nice thing I like about it is, once again, it's a plus and minus. It's open-ended, which means there's a lot more you can think of how you guys are thinking a lot of how you're going to actually act, and like you know about shelves. You're thinking, you're not like in the Dungeons & Dragons, though the one issue I think has popped up, I think particularly I've noticed with you and Neil, is what my brother likes to refer to as video game logic.
Right. Metagaming, sort of.
It is meta. Like, the problem is it can't be avoided. In fact, the book states...
It's hard to avoid. You have to really train yourself.
You have to understand, you're not in a life-death situation.
Right.
Like, Neil knows, like, okay, I can take the gun to shoot. Odds are, you guys wouldn't. I don't think you guys...
Well, that's why I gave it... Well, I don't know. How did Neil get a quick draw perk?
I don't know either. Apparently, he has a quick draw.
But, because that's why I gave the gun to him, because I was like, I've never shot a gun, so I figured I'm probably not that good with a gun, so I'll give it to him. He's never shot one either, but it worked out okay in the end.
Well, you got the rolls for it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's a weird thing, especially with the real world stuff.
Well, another thing that's also
different.
a hard thing to keep track of, which I'm trying to just on your guys' part, but I realized it at the end because I feel like Ben couldn't have carried all this stuff, and I didn't think about it before, like 2 axes and stuff, and like
I got them like tied to our backs.
Right. Also, I realized
we're badasses.
Like, I realized the zombie apocalypse people aren't noticing, but you guys walked in with your weapons. I'm surprised I realized the cop should have probably been like, that's probably why he had his safety off. He was ready to shoot you guys.
He was watching us. It all makes sense. It all comes out. But we'll keep you updated week to week on what's going on in our adventures. We haven't.
I'm definitely curious on when the other ones come out. Should we make it so, since I'm already used to the GM, should I keep doing it?
We'll see.
Which would be funny because I keep dying.
Or we just won't play them because we never have time.
Well, I want to do the Elder Golem one at least.
I know. They all sound cool. Are you kidding me? Aliens, robots. One other thing that I want to get to real quick before we end the show is we, a few weeks ago, talked about inserts. And we asked people to let us know about what their solutions are, and we got some pictures in email from our friend Tick is Great. Real name Adam, and he sent us a few that he got from, I'm going to look up the exact name of it, but we'll put up a few of the pictures here. He had some for Spectre Ops, Dead of Winter.
Any particular he really felt passionate about? Or
not that I know of. But I'll tell you, I feel passionate about the Dead of Winter one because that game is kind of really one of those games that just has so much stuff and they're all different bags.
No, there's certain games you think about and you're like, it's not because you just like inserts. It's like that game needs it.
It would help a lot. Yeah. It came from the website inserthere.me. Inserthere.me.
So maybe you should check it out for Dead of Winter for you.
Yeah, maybe they do. He sent a few other ones that they look pretty nice. He's happy with them. We also just started selling some inserts of our own.
Right, from Broken Token, which we actually mentioned.
From Broken Token. So
really not. I've used that for my Among the Stars. Really nice. It's really quick to assemble. I know all of them suggest super glue and whatnot, but I don't know. Maybe it was just for this one. I didn't really use any super glue for the Broken Token one. It worked really well. I know for my Elder Sign I did, but I think that's because it's just bigger.
Eldritch Horror. Yeah.
Eldritch Horror. Wow. Because for the Among the Stars, it's literally just cards, so it was much easier. When that one had whole shelves for tokens and everything.
But let us know what your solutions are. If you've done insert stuff, send us your own pictures. Buy from us for someone else. Whatever. Let us know what works for you.
Or anything else we talked on the show. Maybe you've been playing the End of the World. How have you been dealing with your characters?
How can they do that?
Well, they can email us is a good start at rollforcrit@gmail.com. Of course, there's right down below comment section and the subscribe button. You should click that.
You can also get us on Twitter @rollforcrit or our personal Twitters, which you'll see on the screen if you're watching the video version of our podcast. And don't forget, you can buy lots of games and see more videos,
including Dead of Winter. We just got that back.
Oh, right, not a video, but you can buy it.
Yeah.
I know, crazy. And lots of other good ones. Camel Up, 5 Tribes. We got some good stuff in stock at our site, which is, of course, rollforcrit.com. gmail.com. And don't forget, Gen Con is coming up, so it's just our weekly reminder. We've got a month to go, although I don't know if that's true from when this is actually airing.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take a couple days. Less than a month until Gen Con, so keeping up, and we'll let you know
and let us know if you're going to be there. We'd totally like to meet you guys.
We would love it. Until then, thanks for watching. I'm Jonathan Estes.
I'm Will Keeler, and this is Roll for